That, or they don't know we're coming.
Yeah, we sent them that one guy. You should be pretty good and scared now.
They got one guy, and they're gonna assume a whole siege?
So, you guys have spent some of our downtime taking a look at stuff for what is about to happen, which is the siege of Braccar. I've spent many hours trying to decide what is and is not good and useful rules, and have been panicking about it for almost a month solid now, so hopefully it works well. Let's see if I can do this.
You can. I believe in you.
That makes one of us.
Sick. Spoilers.
Perfect. So, what I am going to have you guys do is, while we are sitting here talking about some things, I want you guys to go ahead and start thinking about where you would like to deploy on the battlefield. So, as of last session, you guys sent out word to try to resolve things more peacefully with the city of Braccar. They politely declined by sending you back.
Politely?
Politely, yes.
Politely. Interesting.
Okay. Also, actually, I have a question about the timeline. I'm sorry. So we ended last session on the 29th, but it's supposed to take 3 days to get to Braccar from Cedra Valor. So wouldn't it be the new month?
Not yet. We're still starting before this happens. I'm just letting you guys do this so people can watch.
Got it.
She just tried to actually you on your own campaign.
I try.
Can you fucking believe the audacity?
I try very hard to keep record of like what day it is.
The audacity.
I want to make sure I have my notes right. You know how I am about my notes.
Wish you were that way about my notes.
Have you located your notebook?
Do you want me to send you copies of my notes after every session?
I mean, yeah. I think I lost my notes in Calgary. I'm not even joking.
You know, it do be like that sometimes.
and now your notes
sounds like
are
an
the
old
only
country
thing
song.
in Calgary.
I lost my notes in Calgary.
It's
It would be like to the tune of "Send My Love Down to Baton Rouge" by Garth Brooks.
Send my notes down to Calgary.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite Coulter Wall song.
We're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons at some point tonight, I promise.
Like, honest to God, it's coming.
So yes, they politely declined your invitation to end things peacefully by sending the gentleman that Emmerin had put the mark of castigation on.
Question about that.
Yes.
The mark was like untouched, right?
As far as you know, yeah.
I can still sense him, I guess.
Right. Like, I mean, it's still there. You wouldn't necessarily know if they did anything to it specifically, but it is definitely still there. You know that he is still marked, and you know that you can still sense him. So nothing in that respect has changed.
I knew I should have put it on the inside of his asshole.
Dear Lord.
You guys wrote some letters to multiple different people. Laya, you got a couple of letters back. You also received word of the support that the other places you have visited, the people that you have reached out to, are able and willing to send, as far as you saw, everybody that you had reached out to was very willing to help give anything that they were able to help support you in this. Nobody turned down the call. You received a slew of different things to choose from in terms of units that we are going to use for this. And you guys are about to siege one of the biggest cities in the world that you know is heavily armed, heavily armored, and especially at this point, you know it poses a massive threat to everyone. You guys, as some people were overzealous to bring up, do have a few days ahead of you in terms of waiting for units, marching, getting over to the city, setting up camp, things of the like. What I think is probably going to just be easiest, we will say that today's date is the 30th of Firewane. We will say it takes 6 days to get all those things done, and you will start the siege on the 1st of High Sun. In those 6 days, there's a lot of things going on. Lots of movement, lots of packing up supplies, setting up camps, getting things ready. Is there anything particularly that you would want to do external to obviously helping out and doing whatever needed done to get your troops and everybody there?
I have something, and I'm gonna run it by you because it could end up being a mechanical thing. But I'm assuming that the unit of Crusaders that we have has been like sent by the Fleur Blanc to.
Yes.
So those would be like mounted knights with lances, and as we're going across the across the plain, I guess, to Braccar, I would like to see if I can find a suitable like sapling or tree to cut down, and then have one of the squires like carve it into a lance.
Yeah, absolutely. With most of these people, I mean, it's a weapon they're extremely familiar with. There wouldn't be much of an issue, especially with the aid of the amount of people that have the amount of different backgrounds that you have in this army currently, between the mages and Elmenhof. It would be very easy for you to make that happen.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's not just like we're just dealing with the fighting people, but I'm assuming that, you know, people sent like cooks and blacksmiths and armorers and things like that.
Yes, this is a full war army on the move. You guys are prepared to be there for as long as need be to accomplish what it is. So there is medics and cooks, food, supplies, blacksmiths, everything that you need to start at least the siege with no problems, and also continue up as long as may need be. Anything else?
I'd like to arrange. So one of my units is the shapeshifter scouts. So if I could arrange for them to be like, as we're leaving, maybe half a day ahead of us in various animal forms, so that they can easily keep watch and potentially let us know if there's anything like on the road on our way there, or like if not, then as we're about to arrive, if they could give us updates on what activity has looked like.
Sure. If you would like to go ahead and give me perception with advantage, or investigation if you choose, either one.
Perception is 18.
Without a doubt, they are very able to not only stay undetected, but stay ahead of the army quite easily. They can 100% ensure that your route is safe that nobody is trying to impede it. And you know that they are not actively trying to stop you if they know that you're coming. You haven't heard any word of any forward scouts, anything like that. You know that your route from where you are to the city itself is very safe, and that there's nothing that's going to be hindering your progress. And you know that with them scouting at least a little bit ahead of you, you know that the church is aware that something is coming. Obviously, they sent a very poignant message back, so they know that you guys will be heading that way. So they are moving troops, making sure that there's people, extra guards, things like that, standing watch, seeing where, to find out where it is that you guys will be most likely coming from. But beyond that, nothing outside of the walls is. Everything else is inside of the walls. They're just kind of hunkering down at this point.
No scouts, huh? They must be pretty confident. Kind of a foolish move, if you ask me.
Has Braccar Court ever been sieged like this before in Emmerin's memory?
Go ahead and give me a history check.
That, or they don't know we're coming.
Yeah, we sent them that one guy. You should be pretty good and scared now.
They got one guy, and they're gonna assume a whole siege. Come on,
16.
You know that there's nothing that has happened in this capacity for a very long time with any of the cities that you can think of. There's definitely been attacks on the city itself from smaller parties, bands of bandits, things like that, but nothing to the scale of what you guys are bringing to the table right now.
I guess what I'm getting at is, would Emmerin know at all about how the church mobilizes their forces? Like, not having scouts, is that something we would have expected them to do based on previous knowledge, or is it like, are we like, fuck, this is weird?
You would definitely know that they're very confident. Like, that the walls of the city are quite thick. You know that the amount of troops and people that they have, while you have never seen it in full force, you have heard the extent to which they have, an army of people that are there with them. It is not abnormal to you to think that they are just going to sit behind the walls and see what you throw at them first before they make any kind of, rash move.
We could also ask the guy we rescued.
Yeah, too. Given that case, before we do that, I would like to be, as we're traveling, working with some of the folks who are like sending messages, carrier pigeons, what have you, magicians, whatever, and just be sending constant messages about army masses all over the place to completely confuse any information network they have, so they think we're coming from absolutely everywhere or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. You can, especially with the network that you have access to within the city, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah, we'll make them like, not easily interceptable, but like, oh, we put a carrier pigeon and flew it right over that tower. Ooh.
Oops.
Damn, we must be pretty inexperienced and easily defeated.
We're just dumb little kids. We don't know.
We're just little guys.
I'm just a baby.
Is a nightmare.
Is there anything else that you guys want to do?
Do we want to talk to that guy and ask him these questions?
I think that would be good. Yeah, see what that guy has to say about what to expect and, what the sort of doctrine is among the church's forces.
Yeah, how is he being held right now?
at the last juncture, you guys healed him and would have taken him in, probably just put him in a cell or something of the like, unless there was something else that you think that you would be more likely to do. But he would be very easily accessible, obviously to you especially.
I'm wondering if we bring him with us. Like, I know they probably sent him out here to die, but I'm wondering if they were, just player metagaming, I guess. Like, if they sent him out to us, hoping that we would heal him, and then he's gonna like turn into some fucking tentacle monster in the middle of our stronghold and just absolutely wreck us while we're away.
Yeah.
Or should we just kill him?
I think
I think bring him with us would be my choice, because one, they'll make sure that doesn't happen. But then if while we're on the way we think of any like questions to ask him, we can just ask.
I think Roland would have been in favor of keeping him at the church, like under the care of that big Rakshasa guy, because he's going to be a pretty hard dude to get past,
Fair.
And like before we leave, ask him like, hey, what's the skinny on the church? What do they fight like? What should we expect?
With your act of literally saving his life, he is very forthcoming. He has no issues sharing information with you. Give me just an insight roll, just to make sure whether or not you feel like you can believe him.
That's what's Spanish for ocho?
He has no reason to lie to you at this point. I mean, seems like a pretty trustworthy individual. So
yeah, he only tried to kill us that one time. It's probably fine.
People try to kill people all the time out here.
But yeah, no, he absolutely would be able to give you a rundown of things. You know that they don't have any type of artillery or siege weaponry that they keep within the walls. Everything for them is infantry based, either cavalry or footmen, archers, healers, things like that. The force is well trained, exceptionally, at least a large majority of them. You know that there's definitely people that they've recruited from the church that are just zealots, are people that have just been pulled up because they were told lies and believe in the cause and are kind of just, given a sword and a shield and said, go get him, tiger, But the majority of their force is highly, highly trained. Roland, that from some of the things that he's telling you, these are people that would absolutely, in just full out one-on-one combat, would probably rival most of the people that you know in the Fleur Blanc. They are a legitimate army, and one of the very few that still remains.
Easy. Roland, of course, relays all this to the team. There are no slouches over there. But then again, neither are we.
Any other information that you would be looking for specifically from him?
How, like a number, like how many guys to expect that they can just pull up? Because whether or not they're expecting us to mount a campaign of this magnitude.
He seems pretty convinced that they are aware that something is happening, to the level in which you guys are bringing the thunder, so to say. He doesn't think that they might necessarily be aware. You guys have pulled in a lot of people from a lot of different places that wouldn't normally operate together. So that is definitely an advantage you have on your side. But in terms of raw numbers, he's not 100% sure. 1,000, maybe more, 2,000 where you guys are sitting in the high hundreds, like 800, 850. They've got a unit advantage, and as far as you know, their equipment is very, very well maintained, very well upkept, and high end of that matter. So you know that just in a straight fight, again, Roland, that if you walked out into the middle of the field with your army versus theirs, they would probably ruin your day aggressively. But you don't plan on just meeting them on the field of battle with swords, so you should be confident that you're probably going to be okay mostly.
Well, I know
I have-
y'all don't like the words probably and mostly in a tactical evaluation, but I think we'll probably be okay, mostly.
I have questions for this man. Oh God, my brain.
I had questions for this man.
I had questions for this man. Oh, were there any rumors or of? Effectively, I'm looking for the unexpected here. Are there any rumors, any whisperings around the church of like, hey, Emelise turns into a dragon at night, and that's pretty crazy, or hey, there's all this growling coming from the basement. What the fuck is that all about? Or hey, we got a lot of meat coming in. That's weird. Like.
Great question for sure. To his knowledge, he is not aware of anything like that. Outside of the some of the things that you had gleaned initially from the first time you were there, the reports of people going missing, things like that. But anything beyond that is not something that he is aware of.
All right.
Anything else?
I think I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay.
Fucking do it.
Let's hit it, man.
Let's make these bitches dead.
So go ahead.
Yeah, on the way there, Orlo has spent the better part of the waking hours, which were all of them, prior to leaving, in the alchemy shop, brewing potions endlessly with Finnegan, I think his name was. So we've come up with some things. So on the road there, as all this is kind of happening in some downtime, Orlo kind of looks around to the group. He's exhausted. He's not really entirely processing the arrival at a battleground and a siege of a city. He just kind of he's kind of in a stupor. But he kind of like finally collects himself enough, and he's like, so everybody, I have some things to share with you. I spent a lot of time with Finnegan before we left, and I've just been kind of going over everything that we've made, and I think I have a few things that if it won't help us get into the city once we're in there, I'm unsure of what we're gonna have. So I'm gonna hand out a few things to you all. A couple potions that Finnegan and I were able to concoct. A lot of them are highly experimental, so just be careful with them. And he's gonna distribute some potions. I'm gonna put them in our chat.
Sick.
Yeah. So also on that note, Orlo, you did receive the explosives that you had worked on with Finnegan. Your choice of how to use those we can discuss as it's kind of going about, but you do have access to a bit of extra firepower there.
Delightful. We're gonna make things go boom.
So yeah, like I said, the next few days are filled with travel, moving equipment, getting carriages unstuck, and rolling boulders out of the way to move things through fields, feeding horses, knocking down trees, apparently. But you guys are on your way to Braccar Court. You set up a camp not far outside the walls, far enough to be safe, but not be far from rest and reinforcement if needed. The city, as you guys can see it, as the scouts can see it, is, and Emmerin, this would be something that you would obviously know as well. You've never seen the city locked down to the extent at which it is at this point. All the gates are closed. Nobody's in or out. There are armed patrols on every wall. There are cavalry knights, things like that, patrolling some of the nearby, not far away from the walls, but outside of the perimeter to make sure that nothing's happening. It is swarming with people. They, like I said, all of the gates are closed. The walls, especially from this side, now that you guys are looking at them in the frame that you are, look a lot more imposing than when Orlo came jumping out from the other side of it. You can feel the energy radiating through everybody between your armies, the people that are across in the city itself. You can feel the tension growing. Like I said, this is the morning of the first day of High Sun that we will be breaking on as you guys are ready to make your first moves. Is there anything before we do that you want to do right before the siege starts?
Hand out explosives to the rock throwers and the kite people.
That's a good choice.
If you have enough explosives, I also have one of my units is siege.
That's obviously up to you if you want to keep them all for yourself, Orlo, but you definitely have more than enough. These were crafted with the intent purpose of coming here and launching into the city, so...
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
couldn't we keep some to
do
blow open the front door? Doesn't that just make sense? Put them on the end of a battering ram, have something throw it.
I have rock throwers to throw the explosives.
Oh, you know what? Orlo, you keep doing you. You're good, man.
I mean, if you want, I'll share the wealth if you want to take some. But
you know what? I'm sneaky behind the scenes, man. You got to make shit happen, guy. Like,
we'll blow up the door. You sneak in.
As you approach the city, they send a force out, obviously, as a sign of force specifically, but also to meet any army if you guys do decide to march. At this point, you can see a few people on the walls. You can see the people outside of the gates. The black lines are the gates themselves. To clarify, your goal at this point is to get into the city. You can do that in any way that you so choose, but your goal is to get your players, so Sir Roland, Laya, Orlo, Emmerin, into the city. Whether that's through a gate, through a wall, whatever it is that you decide, you have to make it through the army and through the walls themselves. I know I told you guys a little bit about some of the mechanics. This is something that I've kind of come up with, so there's going to be a little bit of play. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. But you will be in control of... each one of you will be in control of 3 units. The units you guys chose from before, from multiple different places. Elmenhof, the Fleur Blanc, the people inside the city itself, Elmenhof, and they all are different types of units: infantry, flying, ranged, cavalry. The only big thing that I wanted to make sure you guys know, if they are flying or cavalry, because this map is kind of pulled out a little bit more, it's much bigger, those 2 units will be moving 10 feet, and the infantry, ranged, and siege units, if they are able, can move 5. Most of the siege units are able to reach quite a distance. The only one that shouldn't, no, you guys, from where you are, you guys can all, like, from the back of the map where I made it, I wasn't sure if I did, they should be able to reach the main gate, the front wall, and then the 2, so this area right here in the front is all accessible. If you want to reach either this gate or this gate down here, they would have to be moved and placed differently, but everything should be reachable for them from where you guys are right now. Emmerin, you have 2 units that we talked about. Would you like them to be inside of the city?
Yep, they have one order. Fuck shit up.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you have any preference on where they go? Like, do you want them up at the top by the gate? Do you want them at the bottom by the gate, in the middle?
So what I would like to put them like, oh god, I threw them away. I threw them away.
They're gone forever.
Oh god. So like,
They're dead.
I don't really know what you're asking, Duck, because I can't see inside the city, right?
Correct.
So,
but that's
yeah.
that I'm going to show you their vision, but I just didn't know if you had a preference on where exactly you wanted them to be coming from.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't mind one set being like picking at the back lines and the flanks of these people that are trying to reinforce the door. The other set, I want them to be cutting off reinforcement lines. So if there are like bridges or moats and stuff like this that the reinforcements have to come over, I want them like manning those bridges or like killing people that are trying to get there, killing messengers who are trying to move information around the city. Like say if the Bloodhunters are picking off the people at the front and the assassins are moving about the city, killing off commanders, killing off messengers, trying to occupy bridges, that kind of thing.
Okay. With that, then, is that something that you would rather have them be doing in lieu of them being part of this combat? It will have an effect still, but you will just be down one unit that you are not actively moving around.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then who would you like that to be? Any of those 3 is fine. Just whichever one you want to be the front line, the other one that you want to be in the back.
So what are the major differences between the assassins and the stalkers in this case?
The assassins are... let me actually look, because I don't know off the top of my head. So the assassins are more of a... exactly what they are. So like high damage, low armor, like kind of get in, kill people, and try to get out. The stalkers are kind of just a more middle of the line, like warrior type of unit that are kind of in the middle of everything, but kind of can give and take equally.
Okay, well, tell you what, assassins doing the thingy with the messengers and the bridges and shit. The stalkers harrying the flanks and the back lines of the people trying to reinforce the front, and I'll keep the Bloodhunters with me.
Okay, and then top, bottom, any preference on where the stalkers go?
Emmerin likes a top, so.
So, what you can now see is, let's see, the gray line is the wall, obviously. And we will start with that there. Laya, you also have your shapeshifters, and Orlo, you have the kites. If you would like, you can start them a little bit closer because they are flying units. If you would like to leave them where they are, that is perfectly fine. I just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to move them in any way, they can be closer than your line.
Like how closer?
You can start them as closer as you would like. Just understand that the closer you start them, the more likely they are to get blasted.
They've been disappeared.
Oh.
I started them inside the city, and now they're gone.
Yeah, that's about what'll happen. It's fine.
I mean, they can move 10, so I don't think I need to start too much closer.
Okay. Like I said, I just wanted to give you guys the options. And then Laya, same thought.
Yeah, I'll keep it about the same.
Okay. Then if you guys all would you please roll for initiative? 1 dice for each one of your units.